family is not super far, but, a minimum of 4 hours, and some is even further. And yeah, his cup is so full whenever he's around family. And then when it's gone, he's just like, oh. Right. So he's got post-holiday blues really bad.
Back in college, I used to get it really bad because I hated school so much. I hate homework more than anything in the world. So whenever Christmas was over, it also meant I had to go back to school. So it was like this huge post-Christmas depression whenever I get back to school.
That's tough.
Yeah. It's a real thing. Well, listen, I had a topic for us tonight. So this is our new format, Ben. You and I haven't even talked about it, but
having topics.
Yeah, well, we're sort of winging it. We're bringing resident experts on and just talking about the things that we think are important to our listeners, and not doing traditional interviews. So this is not an interview of Ben Jaworski from Wad Prep. You're a resident expert, so be expert.
Whatever you want to call me, John, I'll take it.
Well, I thought you'd be a great one for this because I wanted to talk about community. When I was in Mississippi, I dropped in on an affiliate for 4 days with my dad, by the way, and it was super fun. And a chance to be out of my own affiliate. And I've seen a lot of affiliates, and it made me think about community and what is community and why is it so different from gym to gym? And both of you have not only coached for years and years, but been part of different communities. And so I thought it'd be a really interesting conversation to talk about what is community within CrossFit and kind of the dynamics of that. So why don't we just jump in?
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is a question, but maybe I'll just kick it off yeah, I think the biggest thing that occurred to me is how different they all are. They're almost like snowflakes. You know what I mean? Or fingerprints is probably a nicer way to put it. It's just every time I go to a gym, there are so many similarities, but so many differences based off of any number of factors. And I guess I was curious what you guys think are kind of the central tenets that affiliates need to really create a community. Why don't we start with you?
I have a lot of thoughts. This could go in a lot of different directions. And I think community probably means very different things to people. I think for some people, community is probably as small as, do you feel comfortable and welcome in the class that you walk into? And for others, community might be bigger. How do your fellow gym mates and you connect outside of the gym? What sort of social events do you go to? What is your gym known for? Is there something that you're sort of famous for in the community that is more than just classes in a CrossFit gym? So I think that can kind of mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For me, when you say the word CrossFit community, I kind of think small. I kind of think what is it that makes your particular gym special in the hour of fitness where people decide to spend their money and leave their homes or their families or their jobs or whatever and spend an hour with you? How are they feeling welcomed and comfortable and supported in that space for that hour? And I think that there's a lot of different factors in there. But to me, John, that's when you're talking about how every gym is really, really different, that to me is the first place that my mind goes. I've been to a lot of gyms over the years. I've dropped in all over the world. I've coached at several different gym locations over the past 12, 13 years. And that is the biggest difference I see is the vibe when I get to class. Sometimes the vibe is very much everyone is warm and welcoming and wants to say hi and ask me where I'm from or whatever if I'm a drop-in. Oh, hello, Griff. Hello. If you hear heavy breathing, it's not me. Though that I do a lot of heavy breathing now that I'm in my third trimester. But it's Griff. He's in this room with me tonight. And in some other gyms, it's kind of cold. Sometimes the environment is cold, and that's not always a bad thing. It's not necessarily on other people. My happiness or my comfort doesn't always have to be on other people, but it's just very different. If there's no one in the class or no directive from the class to be hey, this is a really amicable and friendly space. Sometimes the timing of the class matters too, right? At 5:30 a.m., not everyone wants to high five and pat butts. And that's okay too. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I just think that that is kind of how I would define quote unquote community, and how I feel that it is quite different in the different gyms I've been to.
Nice. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, to piggyback on what Nikki said, I think there's like a micro community and a macro community, and then like the full CrossFit community. So micro focuses on like the class time. Most people have a class time that they usually attend, and a lot of times those become their own mini communities. It's like, oh yeah, Ben always shows up 5 minutes late, but that's Ben. That's what he does. Or, oh, so-and-so always has to leave early because I got to go do X, Y, Z. Like, you have all these like little micro communities. And like the community that I'm a part of is a quote unquote competitors class, and it's an awesome community. The same people are generally in there each day. And when it's time to partner up for a lift, we all know who to share the barbell with, because who was what I was asked. And there's like this class community where it's like, oh man, they don't have muscle ups yet, but they just got their first muscle up. Like people know that so and so just got their first set of muscle ups. Like we just had a girl, Maddie, who's one of my friends. She just hit her first set of unbroken bar muscle ups ever, or since she had a baby at least. And she hit like 4 unbroken the other day, and everyone was cheering her on. So you have like this like micro community of the class time that you generally go to, which I think that a lot of times is all about the people who come to the class. Like if you just have a bunch of grumpy people that happen to come to your class, you might not have as much good community feelings. And then you have the macro, or the slightly bigger, the whole gym. And I think that community really is driven by the people who run the gym, the general managers, the coaches. They can do things that facilitate a greater whole of that macro, the whole CrossFit gym. And they can do things that basically integrate class times. So if someone's always coming to that 6 a.m. class, they probably never met a 6 p.m. person, but they do maybe the annual Christmas party, or they do the in-house competition, or they do at Friday Night Lights during the Open. So I think there's things that CrossFit gyms can do, and I think it really does start at the top with the leadership. Are they facilitating scenarios or social hours or pickleball leagues or kickball leagues or whatever, where people are coming together that aren't normally sweating side by side, because you're gonna see that person maybe on the leaderboard all the time, but you don't know much about them. The way you get to meet those people are a lot of times in the non-class hours. It's in the extra stuff that the community or that the gym either facilitates, or some gyms don't facilitate it, and that's totally fine. But I think I ran an affiliate for a couple of years way back in 2013, and I think we had a very strong community within the classes. And it wasn't until we started doing like